Hi, y'all. So I'm at work, but I just wanted to come and chat with y'all. So I told y'all I will come back with some videos. So this video, um, as I mentioned, is not being negative, but this is life, right? You guys know, um, I speak my truth, right? This is real life, and it is what it is. And as soon as I come on, Luna wants to take a sip, so all right. So this one is about parenting. Um oh my goodness. So it's been, in my head, right? I'm like, man, as Jamez gets older, the easier it gets. Now, let alone, yes, I don't have to baby anybody. I don't have to change any diapers or anything like that. But you want to see your child succeed, right? And I'm at the point where it's just like, he's going to be 18 in July. He graduated early. So I really did want him to take the year off, relax. So my thing was, the only thing I was going to do in the meantime was pay for his gas. I would see his car insurance and give him an allowance of $100 per month, right? But of course, he wants to work. So, he was working at Chipotle. He did that for a couple of months and then he stopped. Now, during this time at Chipotle, he bought a laptop and he bought his, starting for his, like nutrition program. He wants to be like a fitness trainer. So there's that. So he spent money on good things. He did buy like a Polaroid camera, which he probably used twice. I'm like, but you know what? This is his money, and I understand. I understand. So that's what happened, and he did really good. He saved up a couple thousand, but as kids, things come up, and it was just like him and his friends, right? His classmates and from school, they're constantly eating out, constantly. And I was like, now, mind you, when we were younger, we would eat out. We would, but it's not as expensive as it is now. And every single time wasn't about eating out. It was about getting together and having a good time, right? Um, yeah, we ate out, but it wasn't all the time. Sometimes we would just chill, right? Just chill and watch movies at the house and stuff like that. Go to parties at friends' houses, like with their parents hosting it and whatever. So, anyways, let's proceed. Um, that couple thousand that he had, getting his laptop and stuff like that, it was dwindling, right? So it was coming up like his money was depleting, and now he's like, yeah, I got to get a job, I need money. So during that time frame, I did tell him that he didn't have to pay me. So I forgot to mention this. I did, once he started working and I started to see how he was just spending money on a lot of eating out, I'm like, oh no, this is not a free ride. This is not a free ride. So I said, you know what? This is what we're going to do, because I was frustrated. I was super mad because I'm like, I'm trying to put you ahead, right? Trying to put you ahead. I'm not asking for anything. You're only 17, right? So I'm not asking for rent, like pay some of the rent or anything like that. But I'm like, you got a car, a free car, so you don't have anything do with that, right? So after a while, I said, you know what? Give me 30, you're gonna pay for your unlimited data plan. That's what he wanted. So I was like, you're gonna pay for that. And car insurance, you're gonna give me $100 for that. And that's all equals out, I think. Yeah, it all equals out to like 100 a piece for me and James. So I have him giving me $130 per month. But during this time frame when he stopped, when his money was dwindling down, I said, okay, it's dwindling down. You don't have to you don't have to give me the 130. So that was like a couple months. He didn't have to give me that. But as he started working again, he got a new job. He's been there for a month or two, somewhere around there. Um, what is he doing again? I told him as soon as he starts working back up, he's gonna start giving me the 130 again. Okay. I'm not here to baby anybody, you guys. I'm setting you up for success, and I just feel like it's being pushed down the drain. And the reason I feel like that is because, and this is major, 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 major. He has a car. So I don't care if it was a brand new car or a used car. This car market, okay, if he didn't put anything down, he's even on the lower end, right? Even with me getting his car payments were around $250 per month. So I just looking at that, you don't have to worry about that. $250 is back in your pocket. Why is it like for me? I'm like, why is it every month that all of your money is going towards eating out and fun stuff like bowling? That's basically what they do, bowling. And I'm just like, so recently we had this conversation, because he basically wants me to say how proud I am of him. And I tell him I'm happy for him. He's doing his little certification. Awesome. He paid for that obviously outright. He buys his own stuff. But I'm just like, you don't have nothing in savings, right? Because I was so proud of him having a couple thousand saved up, and then to see that dwindle for eating out, and going to basically eating out and bowling and stuff like that, but eating at the bowling alley. Like, if I feel like every single time he goes out, he's spending like $100. Now, I don't touch his money. I do get to see where his money is going, and it just frustrates me because this day and age, like, dude, you're the one who wants to move out when they're 19. You ain't going to be able to do none of that. None of that, because you need money when you move out. Right now, he's not working full time. He's working part time. Okay? When he started off, they started him off full time. He wanted to originally be part time. And I'm just like, okay, you have these big plans on moving out at this age. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to say nothing. Okay, part time. But once you hit 18, buddy, and I told him this, once you hit 18, we're going to be roommates. You're going to be paying bills in this house. Bills, okay? So, like, my plan for him, it would either be around $500 or $600 per month. Now, let me tell you this. This includes the car insurance, his cell phone bill of the unlimited of $30, plus, so that's what, 130. The other amount will be contributing to the household. I'm buying the groceries. He's bought groceries for one time, and that was like 20 something dollars for him to make azul de leche, azul, something like that. It's like rice milk, rice something. It's just some Spanish dessert, right? So, mind you, this is me. If I ask for $500 to $600 per month, it's not a bad thing, because if I'm the one cooking in this household, if I'm the one having to buy the groceries in this household, oh no, this all evens out. Because I am telling you guys, I am not that parent where I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, live with me. No, I'm okay. I'm happy. $500, $600 per month. And that includes insurance. So, like I told him, if he wanted to have people in his car, once he turns 18, he can get his own insurance. And guess how much that's going to be? Roughly around, that's going to be a couple $100 versus $100 per month. So these things start to add up, right? And then he's like, I want to go to college, VCU. I'm like, for to become a trainer? Like, listen, like, I just feel like kids get into other kids' heads. Like, a lot of his friends, some of his friends are like, oh, yeah, they're going off to college, right? Some of them got a free ride. Some friends don't know what they want to do. They're not ready to graduate, they're not ready for real life. They don't know what they want to do. Their parents are like, yeah, do this. And they're like, I don't want to do that, right? And my whole thing for James is just like start off. And I am not here to burst anybody's bubble, but I like to be realistic. So I'm like, kid, you're gonna go into debt to become a a gym trainer. I'm like, at this point, you have to figure, like, this is my logic. I'm like, I don't know how that all equates. I don't know if the pay equates to how many people you have, but you're just going to be starting out. You're thinking you're going to be part time doing that and then school. And then within a year, you're not getting an associate's. That takes what, 2 years, right? Associates takes 2 years, I think. Yeah, I think associates takes 2 years. So how you plan on moving out at 19? You don't have any real savings right now because you're constantly eating out. And the thing is, for me, it's like, how are you spending almost 2 paychecks on just eating out? For me, y'all, it's so freaking irresponsible, but I get it, right? I get it. You're young, but at the same time, like, I didn't do all this crap, get you a car, pay it off, for you to spend all of this money on eating out. Like, tell me. I will say this, it's not just Jamez. Some of my friends in the past, their kids are older than Jamez, but when they graduated, the mom would be like, oh my goodness, these kids, all they do is spend their money on eating out. And I'm like, Jamez ain't gonna do that. That's my thinking, right? Because I budget. We eat out, but we budget. You know what I mean? For a month, if I spend $200 on eating out, that's a lot. But if you spending $600 on eating out per month, that's crazy. That's crazy. So no, I am definitely going to get money from him once he turns 18. I am not playing around because I see that you're not ready for real life. Real life. Because what you're doing now is, I feel like it's just crazy. Crazy. You know what I mean? And I tell him, I said, you know what? I feel kind of hurt because I am, I'm doing better than what my parents did for us, right? Not saying better, but like, we didn't have these conversations about money. We didn't have these open conversations about bills and all of this stuff. None of that. I am taking my time and actually, explaining real life to him, and wanting to see him succeed. And I'm just like, I'm so disappointed. I told him that. I said, I'm so disappointed. I told him, I said, you know what? I want you to calculate how much you have spent in the last month on eating out and going like bowling and stuff like that. Because when they go bowling, they buy more food and stuff. I said, Jamez, every single time you walk out this house, you're spending $100. For what? For I'm just like, And then he's like, he wants to go, he wants to go to college. And I'm just like, first, just get a job. See how it is first before you even think. He thinks he's going to be making as much as me. And I'm just like, really? Not starting out. Not starting out. And then on top of that, just how the economy is, I'm like, I don't think any of that factors in, but I'm not in that type of line of work either. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm not pushing. I can't say too much about that because I don't know how that job environment is and stuff like that. But what he looks up online for starting out is around $20 per hour, So, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna move out when I turn 19. Well, guess what, buddy? You're gonna be paying me around $550 to $600. I'm thinking I'm gonna do $600 per month. If I'm buying all of the groceries, I'm cooking and cleaning the house, and you're not contributing to nothing outside of paying for your own gas, and obviously paying his insurance. But look at this. If he wants to start paying his own insurance, it's gonna be like double the amount of what he pays now of $100. So let's say it's $200 per month, $250, and you still got to give me money, which will bring you down probably to what, $500 per month as to what you have to give me, and then you add on that. No, my whole thing is we need to it's not baby him. Not baby him. I'm not here to baby anybody. I will give you my 2 cents because this is my child. I don't like to give advice, but I speak truth, And I really, he could have thousands saved up, you guys, thousands. But I don't know, and another side of me is like, okay, a lot of the people that he's with, they're going to be going into school, so they're not going to be able to meet up as much. So hopefully, once all of this settles down, like August of this year, things start to calm down. But that shouldn't even be the case. This is something that you should be thinking of in advance, right? Like, wouldn't you want to get ahead? I'm like, I didn't give you a car and no car payment for nothing. You know what I mean? But to each his own. But that's where my mind is at, like you raise your kids to be responsible. He is very responsible, okay? Very responsible. But like at the same time, you want your child to be financially stable so they can get out on their own, I'm not like I told you guys, I'm not pushing Jabez out. He can stay with me for however long he wants, because once he turns 18, it's not a free ride. I'm sorry. It's not a free ride. It's not a free ride. I did my part. But you ain't going to be living in my house thinking you're not going to be contributing. And if I'm still doing everything I was doing when you were a kid, oh, I'm going to get compensated. I'm going to get compensated. But that's my whole thing, y'all. It's just like, man, now you want to see your child go to adulthood and be set. But they're just not doing that for themselves. I can't do that for him. I sit back, I sit back and I just watch. That's me. I sit back and watch. But when you ask me, why don't you say how good of a job I'm doing? It's because I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with what you're doing. Outside of you paying for your schooling and stuff, I'm happy for that. But outside of that, buddy, you're not getting ahead. You're not getting ahead. This is not how you are going to be one of these people where you're going to be like, oh, you move out and within a year you move back with me. No. I want you to be set. But you have to be set before you even get out, because life is hard. And I think a lot of these kids, they don't understand, especially Jamez. He doesn't understand how hard it is out there. He doesn't. And you know what? Me and my sister talk about this because I feel like we make it look easy. You know what I mean? Now, I am very open about my money situation. You know, if we don't have enough for this, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to do this and whatever. You know, all of these years. And when I'm part-time, I'm like, oh, I got to shift money to the next paycheck, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry, blah, 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 you know? And so it's not like he doesn't see it, but I'm like, at the same time, because of where I'm at, you know, I feel like kids, we as parents, do we make things look too easy where these kids are like, man, I got this? You know what I mean? I'm not here to be busting anybody's bubble and be like, oh man, I can't do this, because guess what? I can do this. I'm responsible. He's like, well, why don't you ask me for help? I'm like, dude, I don't need help. If I need something, I'm going to get it for myself, you know? And I'm like, I'm very independent. And that's what I want for him too. But I don't want him to be struggling. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, my whole thing, and I know a lot of people are like, Candace, it's just a car. But no, it's not just a car. If he had gotten a car, it probably would have been more, because he wants a nicer car, you know, like he wouldn't want like an older car. That's my thinking. And I wouldn't want that for him. So that's why I gave him that gift, you know. And I'm just like, I just wanted to him to get ahead, you know, and at least if he plans on getting the insurance under his own name, it won't be a high bill because it's not a fancy car. It doesn't have all of these bells and whistles. The only bells and whistles that it really has, all cars come with a backup camera now. The only really bells and whistles is the seat warmers, you know, the heated seats that it comes with. But I think a lot of cars nowadays have their Apple CarPlay and Google Play in the cars and Bluetooth. But yeah. I'm just like, but I told him once he turns 18, we are basically roommates. And if I'm doing the cooking and the cleaning in the house still, I'm getting compensated. Let me know. It's $500 to $600 per month. Now this is if I'm still paying, he's still on my insurance plan, okay? But I told him while he's on my insurance plan, he's not going to have anybody in the car. But once he turns 18, if he wants people in that car, he is going to get the insurance under his own name, okay? Which will be a couple $100. But this is not a joke. Even if I asked for $600 and he still had his own car insurance, this is responsibility. Say for if my rent is $1,000 per month. Let me pull this up. So half of rent, $500, right? And then you figure there's water, electricity, and gas. So my bills are around what, like 130 for like gas or something. So let's say this bill, let's say $75 for no, it's more than that. Let's say $100. Oops. Oh goodness. 500 plus say $100 for like the utilities. That's $600 already. Okay, $600 already. Now you include in their food. My food bill is around $400 or less. Now, I've been sticking to $400. I haven't really been like hardcore $400 because I don't really track it like that. To be honest, I'm not tracking it like that, but I know I'm within that range. So let's just say $200 for food. That's now $800. Of course, his unlimited data, which is 30. I pay for his phone bill because that was my gift to him. That's that's $830. So for me to ask for around $600, and that is not including if he stays on my insurance, because if he stays on my insurance, guess what? That's going to be an extra $100. Now we're at $930. And he thinks that if he gets like $3,000 per month, he'll be straight. But I'm like, John, you can definitely do it. Okay, but how you're living your life right now and eating out through almost 2 paychecks, you can't do it. You can't do it. And then on top of that, you want to work part-time. How are you going to do any of that? So his train of thought goes from moving out at 19 versus staying here till 25. I'm like, I don't care what you do, but while you in this household, while you are living with me, once you hit 18, it's not a free ride. It's not a free ride. It's not. It's not. And I tell him, I say, you know what? I'm open. I'm doing what my parents didn't do for me. We talk about money. We I express as a parent what I expect, what I'm seeing. I'm spitting truth. I'm not going to be like, he is a good kid. Like I tell him all the time, he is a wonderful kid. But you look at other things and it's just like, come on now. You smarter than this. But you know what? They're young. They want to be out there and, have fun all the time. But I'm like, once you hit 18, dude, I don't know. And then you want to only work part-time and then go to school. And he's like, I'm going to quit this job. I'm like, let me tell you something. You ain't quitting this job until you have another job lined up, because you owe me money once you hit 18. And like I keep telling him, I said, you not quitting this job until you have another one backed up, because bills start to come in, buddy. I am not babying anybody anymore, because guess what? If he had thousands saved up, he can have that lapse in time. But once you hit 18, that stuff changes. And that's my whole thinking, y'all. I'm like, parenting is hard. To see kids actually grow up into adulthood, I think it's even more nerve-wracking. It's even more nerve-wracking, you guys. So yeah, that's where we're at. Money's being spent on food and, having fun out. And yeah, like I said, he has used money for a laptop, his schooling, which has been around like $1,000. So I say $2,000. He made $6,000 last year. I think he made a little bit over $6,000 last year. So $2,000. Listen to this: $2,000 for schooling stuff. You made a little bit over $6,000 last year. Where'd that $4,000 go? Are you hearing me, you guys? And that's not even for a full year. $4,000 basically on eating out and, bowling and stuff, but basically eating out. That is ridiculous. But you know what? This is what because I'm like, you don't say nothing. I'm like, you don't want me to say nothing, because when I start to speak, I am I tell him I am not pleased. I am not pleased to see how he is taking a gift that I've given him, okay? And he's basically throwing it out the wind, you know what I mean? I'm like, at least he could have saved up that $250 every single month for the car payment. He could still have thousands of dollars saved up. Just setting up away $250 per month while he's been working. He could have like $2,000 saved up just for car payments that he does not have. I would be happy with just that. But he doesn't have that, y'all. But hopefully, once he turns 18, It's not mama just sitting back and just watching him. I will still sit back and watch and see how he does life, because you know what, we all have to learn on our own. But like I tell him, I said, I am straightforward with you. You may not like it, it's not what you want to hear. He feels like I'm trying to tear him down. I'm like, I'm not trying to tear you down, but I'm not going to feed you a false hope. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you, because life is hard, and like I said, I'm like, you can't think you're going to just leave this job and not have another job in place. Because once you hit 18, buddy, you owe me. You owe me for living in this house. This is not a free ride. This is not a free ride. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's my take on it. I know other people are like, oh my goodness. No. When I'm just telling you how he has spent money, ain't no way I'm going to be working my butt off to support somebody else that wants to just spend their money on food out. And then on top of that, most of the time, until recently, until I had a conversation with him, he never asked me if I wanted anything. Never. I'm like, anytime I buy something out, I'm always thinking about him. And I'm just like, wow, that's our relationship. Like, mom, you want something, you need something. It's just like, that's why I'm talking to my sister. I'm like, where does all of this stuff that I've done, where he doesn't even think to even ask anything, ask if I need help, you know? And I'm not talking about money wise either, Oh, mom, while I'm out, you want me to go get you something? And he knows I'll pay him right back, but he doesn't ask. I'm like, man, I got this car for you. And I'm not saying, I'm not like an Indian giver. I don't rub it in his face. No, but it's for him to be independent. You know what I mean? And where does this come into place? Like, I am grateful for what you have given me. You know what I mean? It's like a slap in the face. It's like a slap in the face. And we had this conversation twice, and it's the same thing over and over. I get heated because I'm just like, what in the world? I'm like, I said, I don't believe you will ever take care of me, because guess what? And I'm not talking about take care of me like financially. I'm going to be straight taking care of myself. You know what I mean? But like, say forth with my mom, doing her driveway, you know what I mean? Like in the snow time, you have a child that lives a couple blocks over, wouldn't even come by your mom's house to go visit her for one, nor when it's winter time ask her, hey, you need, not even ask, go over there and shovel. You got kids, why are they not going over there? These are thoughts that come through my head, and I'm just like, man, we do so much for these kids. And let alone, yes, I do more than what my mom has done for me when we were growing up. But at the same time, my mom was a very young mother, around 14, 15, she had my brother. So you figure, even about time she had me, she was probably in her later 20s. But she didn't have much of a childhood. She didn't have that, you know what I mean? So when you're a young parent, it's just like, even though you get older, you're kind of stuck in that childish way type of thing. And then you have like an abusive partner. It's just like she didn't have a chance to flourish, So I don't blame any of that on her, but I'm just like, Jamez, I'm giving you more than what I've had. You know what I mean? More than what I've had. I can talk with you and keep it real with you. I've experienced life, and it's just like, wow. It's like I said, it's just like a big slap in the face. But you know what? He's a good kid. he's going to do well, but I don't expect for anybody to be there to take care of me, because already he's out and about all the time, but never asks mom, do you want something? I'm eating out. You want something? He didn't start asking that until recently, because I broke down to him. I was so frustrated because I just sit back and relax and I just look, and I was pissed. I've been pissed, okay, for months. And like I said, this is the second time we had this conversation, but I'm just like, dude, even now, you don't ask me, you know? Sometimes, like yesterday, like 2 days ago, he asked me, he said, oh, I'm going to get some pizza. You want some? And I was like, yeah. And he bought me some. But most of the time, I'm like, oh, thank you for asking. Like I told him, he's like, I don't ask you because you're going to say no. But I'm like, it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts, Jamez. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you want to be like, Mom, I got you. You want something while I'm out? And knowing I'll give him the money right back. But for that pizza, he asked me, I didn't pay him back. I'm like, nope. He spent $70 on pizza, which like $10 of that was a tip. But it was like close to $80, and like 10 of that was a tip, y'all. On pizza for him and his friends. And how many times do they eat out? I'm like, if you were maturing, you would spend more money on getting groceries and cooking stuff at home. But he doesn't even buy groceries, except for that one time recently, getting like rice and condensed milk and stuff like that. And that was it. And this is not me being negative. This is me being a parent and just, wanting to see your child succeed. It is very emotional. If a parent is not showing emotion and not wanting the best for their child, then I will say this, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset because he is a good kid, you know. But other than that, I'm just like, dude, yeah, you're a good kid. You're doing this, and you have these big plans, but you're not setting yourself up for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, y'all. I'm just like, wow. Wow. It I show him we eat out. We eat out. Like all these years, I've always said, "Oh, we have this budget. We eat out." I'm like, "Oh, we don't got the money anymore." So he's trying to start to incorporate that. This is what he said recently. He's like, "Mom, so what I think I'm gonna do." He has switched it up a couple times. He was like, "I'm gonna give myself this much money for for this paycheck, and then save up the rest." And it's been failing every single time, y'all. Failing every single time. And I'm like, why can't y'all just do stuff and just sit around? Sometimes they do, but most of the times, like while they're out and about, they're eating. And I'm like, OMG. But yeah, y'all, I'm like, man, parenting doesn't get any easier as your child gets older, because you figure once they move out, it's just like you want to see them succeed, not living paycheck to paycheck, not struggling, you know what I mean? And then when you set your child up for success, with which can mean you having these conversations with them, you know what I mean? Being real with them. It's not meaning giving them money. It doesn't mean giving them a car, any of that. But it's just like having those conversations with your child and being real with your child. I think that's most important to set your child up for success. But if you're just going to feed into them being like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, life is easy, no, you're not setting up the child for success. So, but yeah. Next, I'll talk to you about my student loans. There's still some things that are still in the works, but my credit score, I got information on that. I'm thinking there's only one payment coming back to me. I guess I could do a video, but I'm not too sure if there's going to be more coming back to me, but I'm pretty sure it's just the one payment coming back to me. And then we'll talk about work and my mental health. All All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know. Comment down below. Like, parenting. Like, let me know. Let me know. And if you have teenagers or adult children, okay, let me know how that all works. Because I'm telling you, once he hits 18, I'm done. I am done. I'm done. I am so done, y'all. This is the world we live in. I don't feel like babying a child and, doing this for them. No, you're young. You can hustle. You can have 2, 3 jobs. I've done it to get ahead. I've done it to get out of debt. You know what I mean? Not that I needed to, but it helped me along faster get out of debt. But like, no, you're young. Like, you can do these things. But I feel like people still want to work part-time. But we'll see once he hits 18 how things work. But I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get my money. But yeah, let me stop talking, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.